Welcome to Prykarpattia. We are back in the village of Richka in Ivano-Frankivsk region. My name is Ina and I have lived here for only a few years, but I like the rhythm of life here, the culture, the customs so much that I want to share it with you almost every day. But first, I would like to ask you to subscribe to this channel, like the latest video and leave any comments under it. In this way, you will help promote this content by spending just 2 minutes of your time. Thank you so much for that. On this winter day, I again visited the family of my friend Halyna, who has lived in the village since birth. She has 3 children whom we will meet today. Large families are the norm in this area. Firstly, it's connected with the Asian traditions. Secondly, we should not forget about the religious influence. Local residents honor the church and live by God's law. Despite the fact that life in a mountain village is not easy, children grow up here happy. They know exactly what true freedom is. They live in the bosom of nature, in the middle of the majestic Carpathian mountains. And the house is in full swing. Everyone is gathered in the kitchen, where it is very comfortable and cozy. I'm helping Halyna with the indoor flowers. My Richka, Halyna's youngest daughter, puts wood in the stove, and Halyna prepares food for the animals that live here. We have to think about dinner for this big family. I love cooking, so I'm happy to help Halyna. Today we are going to cook something very tasty and unusual. For this, we need smoked ribs. I cut them, separating the individual bones from each other. I put the ribs in a large pot filled with water and put it on the fire. We will cook a flavorful broth. Meanwhile, we need to prepare the vegetables for today's dinner. Halyna goes to the shed where potatoes, beets, carrots, and other vegetables are stored. Of course, all of these are grown here in the summer in their own garden. It's not always possible to have enough supplies for the whole winter season, but it is good that there is a cool shed where vegetables can be stored for a long time. Now I can wash, peel and cut vegetables, onions, carrots, beets. Natalia helps me. She is Halyna's eldest daughter. Now she lives abroad, but she came to visit her family on vacation. We immediately throw the peelings into the stove. They try to recycle any garbage here to dispose of it immediately. For today's meal, we also need potatoes, which need to be peeled and washed, and then cut into cubes. All this takes very little time, especially when you have helpers in the kitchen. And while I am focused on the potatoes, Natalia has already chopped all the onions. She does it very skillfully. Cabbage also appears on the kitchen table. And from the set of ingredients, it's very easy to guess what we are going to cook today. Natalia does the roasting, drains the first broth, and pours clean water over the ribs. This is necessary to make the broth clear, flavorful, and free of unnecessary impurities. Vasil has a lot to do outside. He needs to harness his mare Zorka. She is looking forward to it. It's quite difficult for cattle in winter because they spend much less time outside than in summer. That's why Vasil specially loads the mare to keep her fit. In summer, the mare is harnessed to a cart, and in winter she puts a sled. And the kitchen is in full swing. I think it's not secret that we cook real Ukrainian borscht today. Of course, every good housewife has her own recipe for delicious borscht. Debates about whether to add beets, beans, and smoked meats to it are ongoing. But there is no universal classical recipe for this dish. By the way, it is here in the Hutzul region that smoked pear and sometimes prunes are also added to borscht. It's definitely not a classic recipe, but these additional ingredients add a certain buoyancy. We are not going to experiment like that today. Moreover, the smoked flavor is already given to us by the ribs.
Кришкою накриваю. То кришкою в коридорі, ну там подивіться, мама, я по дрова. А ну тут. то дотушиться, і ми закинемо в це.
Це
І
можемо
борщ.
пити чай, так?
Так, так, можемо щось перекусити, можемо щось
Так.
пити.
Я якраз і чай.
Бери, бо то колачик ти так ще.
While the borscht is cooking, there is time to just drink some flavored tea in the company of your loved ones. Everyone here has their own cup. In Western Ukraine, a garnyatko is a mug for tea or coffee. For residents of other regions of the country, this word sounds unusual and sometimes even funny, but I personally quickly got used to the local dialect. Everyone chooses a drink depending on their preferences. Some people drink tea, others coffee.
Три кусочки. Та клади. Дай, клади.
But we have to get back to work. The last stage of cooking borscht is left, when you need to combine all the ingredients. The potatoes are already boiling in the borscht, and soon the vegetable frying will be added. The last to be added is cabbage because it cooks very quickly. Outside, Vasil is getting ready for a sled ride. While Halyna is feeding Zorka crackers, he quickly harnesses her. By the way, such sleds are often used in winter to make trails in the fresh snow. It is very convenient because there is no need to manually shovel snow with a shovel. It is enough to drive along a certain road and you can walk along with path without any obstacles. But today the sled is used to bring fresh hay to the stables. Maria helps her brother. In summer, hay is harvested in huge quantities. Of course, the storage places are not only located near the house, so now the hay has to be transferred from the barn to the sled, then brought to the stable and unloaded there. The children do it quickly and skillfully. Now the hay has to be well tempted and dried up so as not to lose it on the way. The townspeople have never even dreamt of such entertainment. Just imagine what a pleasure it is to ride through the mountains in a sleigh pulled by a mare, inhaling the aroma of fresh hay.
Хотіла попробувати.
Яка з яблуком має бути? Ну, таке трошки так, як кисленьке.
And the house is warm and cozy at this time, so the whole family comes back here. The borsch is almost ready, only a little wood needs to be added to the stove. Rich, delicious borsch is an ideal lunch option. It warms you perfectly in winter, gives us strength and energy. It's time to get together as a big family at the table and enjoy delicious food. And I sincerely thank you all for spending this day with us.
От вона ж усіх обійме, бо ти у нас один.
А як ми така знімаємо на святку?
Ми тако ставимо, туди ж крутиться. То це... Що, мало перцю, так?
Мені мало. Але я переважно так люблю солене.